Oh, hey everybody, thanks for tuning in to Two in the Cooler. Thanks for joining us. If it's your first time listening, don't forget to follow us on Instagram and Twitter at Two in the Cooler, and subscribe to the YouTube page, especially now that we got the nice studio. You want to see that, take a look, see how it's looking over here. Let's get right into it. This episode of Two in the Cooler is brought to you by Two in the Cooler. That's right, the merch store is up, folks. First and foremost, thank you to everybody who's been buying the t-shirts, the sweatshirts, the long sleeves, all the great stuff we've got up on there. Actually, boom, Matt can't read hoodie on right now. Matt can't read, he's illiterate, can't do it. It's hilarious. He has no clue what letters are, no idea. So you can get that. Pizza tipping merch. We've also got, of course, logo merch on there. Just go to teespring.com/stores/2inthecooler, or while you're following us on social media, hit the link in our bios on all of that. If you're watching the video, there's also a link in the video description to that merch. Check it out. And again, thank you guys so much for buying all the stuff if you have already. It's been awesome seeing the orders come in. We really, really appreciate it. And, of course, the reason that it took us so long to put out merch in the first place is because we wanted it to be quality. Because too many times I've ordered things from shows or whatever, stuff that I like, and it's just awful. Like, it just does not feel comfortable. It's too scratchy or stiff, or it just doesn't fit right. It's not shaped right. I'm like, what is going on? So I wanted to do it, with quality pieces of clothing. So that's exactly what we did. This episode of Two in the Cooler also comes to you in affiliation with Instacart. Instacart is a lifesaver if you hate going to the grocery store. Just like I hate going to the grocery store. I can't stand it. I don't like sifting through the aisles, not knowing where anything is. What I really don't like is how frickin' crowded they get, and all the people driving their carts worse than they drive their frickin' cars. It is god awful. So just avoid all that and use Instacart. Get some of your favorite products from some of your favorite local stores delivered right to your front door in as little as 1 hour. And the best part is, right now, Two in the Cooler listeners get free delivery on their first order of $35 or more. Just hit the link in the show notes and get yourself that deal. Get yourself on Instacart. I think you guys are really going to like this episode. Talking to Sydney was phenomenal. I haven't seen her in so long. She's a good friend of mine from Fredonia. It was great to catch up. We had a great conversation with her. She's one of the best. She's one of the best. You just can't beat it. So I'll let you guys get into the show. Thank you guys for listening. Here we go.
Studio. Yeah, there we go. There's another episode.
That's the one.
You want to know one thing that we've stopped doing since we came to the studio is saying, not that we need to, but saying what episode we're on, because I have no clue. We've got to be, almost 50, right?
This is actually 47.
This is episode 47,
yes.
So we're closing in on a milestone.
Yeah, we're getting there. We're on our way.
So we're almost at 1 year of podcasting.
Yeah, I guess you could say that, because that's 52. Let's talk about what we really want to talk about. First of all, Sydney, thanks for being here.
Thanks for having me.
We really appreciate it. I'm going to adjust your camera real quick, actually.
Okay.
But, fruit.
Oh yeah, okay. So I'll take care of this while Andrew gets involved. So before we started getting going here, Andrew posed the question of, what is the smartest fruit?
Yeah, well, because, when I am not, doing this stuff, I just sit around all day and let the demons take me.
Yep.
So, and my buddies are going to hear this. So I almost got in a big fight with them, I feel like, because I texted them and I asked them, what's the smartest fruit? And so initially,
pause. You posed this question on Nothing Provoked You.
Yeah.
I was
thinking about it.
Why? All right.
I don't know.
I know. Okay, I think I know what the answer is. Regardless, keep telling your story.
No, I want to hear. I mean, that's basically it. So my initial thought was, because I was kind of going through all the fruits, and I realized I don't think the fruits are very smart.
I mean, what do you mean by smart? Are we talking like
it's up to interpretation, I'd say.
Like, let's say a fruit did have some kind of mental capacity to learn or think or something.
Mm-hmm.
Which one would be the smartest? Which one would be the best at it? Ooh, see, quiet. Silence comes over the crowd.
My initial instinct was a kiwi.
Yes, which I thought first as well.
But why? But then you told me that you don't think that's the correct answer. What's dumb about a kiwi?
I think that the kiwi pops into your head first because it's an unassuming fruit, right? Like people either kind of forget about it, like it's small, it's not doing too
How
much.
are we getting though?
Any fruit that exists.
There's fruits that exist that I don't even know what they are though.
Okay.
Like what about a dragon fruit? I don't know what that is, but it sounds smart.
What? No.
Yeah, to me it does.
I don't think so.
Okay, who would win in a fight? Any other fruit against a dragon fruit? Dragon fruit wins every time.
Yeah, but your ability to fight.
No, I know, but okay, so okay, you're right. I know, maybe not the smartest, but okay. So, what is the smartest fruit in your opinion?
Well, we kind of broke it down into 3. I think that the honeydew is the smartest.
Way.
Listen to
There's
me,
no
right?
Way.
The honeydew is the smartest fruit when it comes to math and science. STEM, honeydew is your guy.
We're really breaking it down.
Yes, well, we had to. So
Why?
It just is. It's kind of.
I disagree. I think the honeydew is actually not only is it a shit fruit, but it's at the bottom of the food chain as far as fruit intelligence goes.
No, I don't think so. I think the honeydew is a pretty smart fruit.
I think a pineapple's smarter than a honeydew, and I don't even think
there's
a pineapple's
no way
that
that
smart.
a pineapple is smart at all.
Yeah, and I think it's smarter than a honeydew.
Because?
Honestly, okay. So I would say honeydew, cantaloupe. Cantaloupe, they're in the same boat. Cantaloupe is smarter than a honeydew.
Mm-mm.
Yes. Why?
The honeydew is sweeter, right?
No.
Well, I don't know. It just is. You
No,
know, these
see,
things
you have
Wait,
no.
what?
just have to
No,
go with your
a
gut.
honeydew is definitely sweeter than a cantaloupe. Like 100%.
See, I don't even eat fruit, and I'd put that one together.
That's concerning.
I don't like.
Well,
I don't.
What am I
like,
going to get scurvy? I'm not too worried about
I
it.
mean, I don't really like honeydew.
You used to love honeydew.
No, I love cantaloupe.
Oh.
And that's the tea.
Smarter than.
Welcome back
This
to
whole
That's the
question,
Tea.
this whole question, now that I've gotten a sense of what you were judging this scale off of, there is no scale. You're just making assumptions based on the way that you picture a fruit.
Right.
But I don't picture a honeydew being a smart fruit, so how can you tell me that I'm wrong? Because it's all based on the way that somebody...
I would say that, like so many, Jesus gives me the power to tell anybody that I disagree with that they're wrong.
I don't even know where to continue this argument. I disagree with you, and I want that to be clear, but I don't think that I even want to continue down the realm of like proving why my fruit is smarter than your fruit, because you have no real system as to how you determine which fruit is smarter.
It's scale. It's called the Andrew Canada scale. It's patented.
It's not patented.
It's used in most European countries. It hasn't really been accepted in the U.S. yet.
It's subjective is what it is. It's a subjective scale.
I mean, that's kind of the argument that a lot of people are having about it. But
it holds no weight.
It kind of scientists will be debating it for quite some time, but we'll see. We'll see what happens. So, anyways, always a good segue. Thank you guys for indulging me in that conversation.
I'm kind of pissed I did, but
I mean, isn't there more fruit that you...
Yes,
but we skipped over that.
okay.
Don't
All right.
Okay, so real quick.
Sorry.
Literature and like history and facts and stuff, that's where the avocado shines. The avocado is the smartest in those.
I didn't even think about the fact that the avocado is a fruit. I actually... one pair of headphones down. It happens. That happens.
Yep, that's what it is.
It's never
It's
happened
already
before. That's
stressed as is, and this is not helping.
You can adjust them.
I think,
This is the smallest
cord is on the
go.
left side.
Sydney.
Yep. No, that one's.
Wait.
Oh, that is your left side. Yep. There we go.
You just do the boop, and you'll be able to figure it out.
Yeah.
And then I think that overall, the smartest fruit is Sam Phillips, friend of the podcast, said this: pomegranate. I think overall pomegranate's probably the smartest fruit.
It is claimed as a super fruit.
So an avocado is claimed as a super food, though. It's not even a super fruit. It's a super food.
Yeah, but that's I don't know.
I wouldn't have
really
even classified that. An avocado is one of the that could be what about a tomato? Because that's technically a fruit. Did that come into play? The fact that it's smart enough to be a vegetable but also a fruit at the same time.
You're gonna hate because I got a lot to say about this.
Oh.
I hate this conversation.
The reason, so initially I thought that tomato would be the smartest, and here's why. Because as I was going through the fruits and thinking to myself, again, all initially, that kind of coming to this conclusion that fruits overall are pretty stupid. I was like, maybe tomato is the smartest one because that's the one. Avocado is close, but I would say tomato even more so is the one that has distanced itself more from fruit than any other fruit.
So either that it's unassuming or it's just really not into being a fruit.
Yes, I think that
disassociated itself.
It's like it considers itself at a higher level of intelligence and just so overall social status, whether it be economic status,
Because-
everything higher than the rest of the fruits. See, but I don't think that a tomato is better than an avocado. I think that the avocado trumps tomato in that category because the avocado has taken over the world in a sense of. It doesn't matter though because fruit. We're never going to figure out which fruit is the smartest. Fruits aren't
not
smart
yet.
or dumb. Actually, there probably is a scientific way to go about it in how like fruits grow and like reproduce. You know what I mean? Like how some fruits are able to like spread their seeds
Sure,
without the use of. There's a word for that, but you know what I'm talking about?
I think so.
Like some fruits are smart enough to like shed seeds and stuff like that. Not
Sure.
shed, but you know what I mean?
Yeah, I think I understand.
Pollinate.
Yeah, but like without using, it's like how dandelions are able to do it with the
Right.
wind, right? Like as they die, the wind comes, blows them away, and all those they spread their seeds. Like there's fruits like that are able to. I don't know what I'm talking about. I have no clue.
You see, you started off being very aggressive towards
No,
the
I know
topic,
what
and
I
now
mean,
you
though.
are knee
But
deep.
do you know what I mean?
You're knee-deep
Does
in
that make
fruit.
sense? Like, all right, here's like a little bit more. But like some fruits, like some berries, like they continue to grow because deer eat them.
Yeah,
And
yeah,
and
yeah,
then
yeah.
they're the seeds come out in like deer poop, and
Yeah.
like they plant trees there. Like that's
Right.
a pretty damn smart fruit.
Right, that makes sense.
As far as like its ability to reproduce using other animals that don't even know that they're helping it do so. Berries, top of my list. Anything other than fruit. Please let anything other than fruit come out of your mouth.
I've got so much more to
Anything
say
other
now
than
that you
fruit.
brought that up, though.
There's conversations.
But for the
to
sake
be
of,
had.
of
We have
everyone
guests here.
for the sake of everyone that exists, we can
Yeah,
we can move on. We can move on. So, Sydney, we knew each other back in Fredonia,
Mm-hmm.
which has come up a couple times on the show.
Back in the olden days.
more than one.
Basically, I mean it's a kind of a one horse town.
I mean, essentially, yeah.
Yeah. But we knew each other from the TV station there. And aside from kind of all the things that we did there, one thing that I know about you, Sydney, is that you are the biggest Jeopardy fan that I've ever met.
I wish I would have known that coming in. I would have prepared a few questions.
No, oh gosh. I'm so.
Oh,
I'm not
like
good at the
quiz
trivia
questions?
part, but.
I would have put up a couple.
You would have had a whole
I would have got a whiteboard.
board
I would have
in
brought my
here
whiteboard in. Yeah.
and bring
Oh,
that
gosh.
in.
Yikes and yikes.
But I mean, when was the last time you missed it? I mean, maybe you are busy now. But,
yeah.
Okay.
It's pretty. Well, it's more frequent than it used to be, but yeah, no, especially like within my last year at Fredonia, a lot of things came up, especially with like senior capstones and everything. So
Kind of
That's
fell to the
fun.
wayside.
yeah,
This is good for me and the people listening, learning something about Fredonia that involves actual schoolwork. See, that's not usually the conversation I feel like that comes up about Fredonia when we have people from Fredonia on. So it's nice to hear that at least somebody's going there and learning something in order to get their degree.
well, I wouldn't say learn something.
Putting forth effort. Can we use putting forth effort? That doesn't have to mean learning. She's not even sure about that.
Yeah.
This is my problem with this school. These damn state schools, man. These damn state schools.
Yeah, you just kind of go there. But so there's obviously with the passing of Alex Trebek, they've had Ken Jennings was like the first guest host they brought in, and then Did they bring like the who else was going to do it? Wasn't like Meredith Vieira or Katie Couric going to do it, and then
Yeah.
Aaron Rodgers obviously, but I don't know who's done it already.
It's only so far. They've only completed Ken Jennings' full cycle of being a guest host. Now they've moved on to, I think he's an executive producer. I don't remember his name. I don't like him. I mean, like, I shouldn't say that.
I get into.
No,
It's
more so that I don't like his tone of voice. Like, he just sounds too game showy. Like, I feel like he would be a better fit on, like, Who Wants to Be a Millionaire, or what is it, the $10,000 pyramid, whatever that one is.
Not that I haven't
don't know if
heard
they've done that
voice,
since the 70s.
but I
that
imagine like when you say like somebody has a game show type voice, I know exactly what you mean. So do you think that there'll ever be another host that will equate to what Trebek was? Like, will you enjoy the show? Is that going to be a big thing moving forward? Is if they don't find somebody, they're going to lose interest? And
I definitely think with the guest hosts, it's going to be tricky because, I mean, I think on their list they have Dr. Oz, who's supposed to be a guest host, which I don't think he should.
I actually did get a phone call from Jeopardy the other day. That's probably why they were calling me. I thought maybe they wanted me to come on as a contestant, but now I'm thinking that they might.
They
want
wanted
me
you to come on and host.
And host, yeah.
You,
Okay.
one, didn't pick up the phone, or two, didn't call them back.
No, I mean, I got a busy schedule. Well, I didn't know they were in the market for a host, and I don't really think I need to go on as a contestant. I think I've proven my intelligence just based on our fruit conversation alone. I think that I rank. And also,
You can't even read.
I
so
wish
I
we
don't
could
know if
zoom
they were
in. I don't
calling.
know which way we're going. Yeah, we're both rocking the Matt Can't Read apparel today.
Yeah.
Check that out, teespring.com.
It's very nice.
Sorry.
Lots of plugs. Well, we have to pay for things.
Yeah,
around
exactly.
here. What were we were talking about Jeopardy.
Alex Trebek.
Alex Trebek.
Comparing hosts is really
Comparing
what we're
hosts.
on.
Right. So I guess as the biggest fan, I mean, who would you like to see?
I have honestly no idea.
Yeah.
So far, I think it's because I just don't really have many expectations, considering that they're going through they're just cycling through different people. I thought Ken Jennings did a really good job, though. Like, if they gave him a permanent position as the host, I would be content.
I don't know who is that.
He's the top winner, like all time.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Yeah, I liked him a lot too. I saw a couple of his episodes.
Who is that one guy that the world is obsessed with? I like that guy.
James Houston.
Yeah.
James, oh my gosh, wow, I'm really kicking myself for not knowing his last name. Holtz, something.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Something along those lines.
It definitely
I don't
James
know.
H. Jimmy H.
Yeah.
Yeah. All I know is that I was angry every time that he was on. I was angry every time he won. But let me
Really?
tell you, something changed in me when he lost.
What, you were anti-James?
It was more just like he gave this like really creepy smile.
Yeah, he was definitely.
Yeah.
I think he was just shy though. But then all of a sudden he was like becoming so famous for being so good at Jeopardy, so he was just like, yeah, like I'm super smart, haha, give a couple chuckles. So as somebody who watches it all the time, do you look forward to that? Like, oh, I hope this person goes on a run. Like, cause do you want to see the same? Like,
Yeah, there's definitely people who I'm like, oh no, I don't like this girl. Like it's like, oh my gosh, you're so stupid, Brenda. Like,
yeah, fuck Brenda.
Yeah,
I
Brenda
agree.
does suck.
Yeah, I
That's
hate
one
Brenda.
thing we can all agree on.
yeah. And of course that person ends up winning the episode, and it's like, okay.
And then, okay. My other question was on top of that. Do you have? Are you strictly like a basic Jeopardy, or do you like the Tournament of Champions, Teacher Jeopardy?
Oh, I watch it all.
Student Jeopardy. It's all of it.
The student ones are my favorite just because I can most likely answer more questions than
Okay.
normal.
Which is fair. I would have to go more towards like the Are You Smarter Than a Fifth Grader route if I was going to compete, which does contradict my previous statement about me going on Jeopardy, but I'm just being honest.
I think I like the most brutal episode of Jeopardy I ever saw was during the teens tournament. It was during the champion teens tournament, actually. So I kind of like that one to kind of see, like, just because I remember, like, anything can kind of happen there. It was, these two kids were really close, and then, so it came down to Final Jeopardy. And the one kid wagered enough so that he won by $1. They went to him last, so the kid before him was
Well, right. Well, he was probably in the lead.
Yep. And he so this kid thought that he had won, and then they went to the other guy and he got the question right. So then this fucking kid you can see him like trying to do the math in his head, and he's like, ugh. And then he finds out he lost. I wish I could like pull up the clip for you guys, because the range of emotions that was on this kid's face, and my favorite part is probably judging the contestants, and I did not like this kid at all. If there's one group of people that I hate most, it's children. I'll go on record as saying that.
I'm gonna second that.
I feel like this is an anti-child podcast.
I have no problem with children.
Well, that's great for you.
I mean, they do annoying shit, but everybody does annoying shit.
Like every once in a while, they're okay and I guess kind of cute.
Are we talking about? When you say children, though, we're referring to Teen Jeopardy tournament,
he was like a
you
teenager.
hate teenagers.
I mean,
You
I
just
don't
hate anybody under the age of 18.
I'm not prejudiced
Anybody
when
who's
it comes
technically
to
a minor.
like, who I hate. You know, I'll hate anybody.
Yeah.
So, but this kid, I did not like this kid, and it was just so crazy to see someone like think that they got to the top of this mountain and then basically find out there's so much more.
It's actually horrible that you found pleasure in watching. It
wasn't so much pleasure. I mean, there definitely was some, but it was just fascinating to watch this guy.
What was the question?
Over. I don't remember any of that. All I remember is this guy's face, like going through the motions of being like, oh, you know.
Fair.
Yeah. But it was, man. Yeah, I don't. If they kept Ken Jennings, I'd be cool with that. I also think that he did a really good job. And obviously he also cares so much about that show and the history of that show.
Well, I mean, he also became a producer.
Really?
Yeah, I think it was around like right after he had won like the overall whatchamacallit.
Like the big 3 championship thing.
Yeah, I think that's when he kind of joined the crew, became a producer. So I'm one, not surprised that he was the first guest host, and two, I really thought that they were just gonna go with a permanent replacement, and that was gonna be him. So
I wouldn't be surprised.
I'm sure their end goal is permanent replacement.
Oh, yeah.
But I feel like it is really, really hard. I don't know how many years Trebek was on the show. It had to have been.
It was since the beginning, which was in the 70s at some point, like late 70s.
Something like that.
Yeah.
And he was somebody that so many people liked. Like nobody was like, "Oh, damn, I wish I could watch Jeopardy, but I really hate Alex Trebek." Right? People everybody loved him. That's
very true.
So you have this giant brand that is Jeopardy that has to replace the face of their brand, right? The image of their brand,
right? Everything,
and create a brand new identity.
And then there's kind of two things I'm thinking now, which is one, like if you compare Trebek to like Pat Sajak on Wheel of Fortune, right?
No, you can't compare the two.
Well, that's kind of what I'm saying is like if Pat Sajak retired or whatever, I think you could replace him pretty easily. No offense to Pat Sajak, but it would not be. Like it's not even close to the same. But also you think back to like Bob Barker, the original host of The Price is Right. Like people loved Bob Barker.
Yeah.
And then they were like, I'm sure there were a lot of people. I'm sure it was a very similar thing where people were like, there's nobody that can replace old Bob. And then obviously Drew Carey. I don't know. I like Drew Carey on that show.
Yeah.
I also think though that I think that part of the idea that Jeopardy has to go for the like temporary replacements and kind of shuffle them in and out is that Jeopardy is like more of like a classy show. I feel like when it comes to like the way that it's hosted, like, but I also feel like there's potentially money to be made because that's how Alex Trebek like portrayed it, right? Like he was always, proper. That's how the whole show runs. But Jeopardy might be seeing it as an opportunity to, well, maybe, especially we talked about like Aaron Rodgers, like bringing a guy in like Aaron Rodgers, I feel like would host the show Jeopardy nothing like Alex Trebek. So maybe they're going to try a couple different like characters out, people that come from different backgrounds and act different ways and see like, oh, maybe if we, move out of our initial image of like this, high class professionalism type thing, then maybe we'll get more viewers or less viewers. They might be testing the waters a couple different ways.
That's interesting.
That's how I would see it from like a marketing perspective. Like, how are we gonna now that we don't have Trebek, how are we going to grow our fan
But
base?
if you do it too much,
No,
then
it could
it's
hurt.
almost like new Coke. Like people are gonna hate it, especially like the big fans of.
No, yeah,
Yeah.
but I mean, until they find, I'm sure that they're focusing on its ratings based too. They probably are looking, at once they have 3 or 4 interim hosts or whatever you want to call them, they'll probably look at the ratings and say, well, this guy did the best.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah. But I also kind of like the idea of guest hosts just because it can give people who are in academia a chance to actually, like, I guess, shine more. More people, like, there's certain people out there, like, we have no idea who they are, what they've done, but they've, have all these incredible accomplishments.
Yeah, and they're super smart.
So.
Yeah. No, and that would be cool too. But
because of the way that he, like, that Trebek, like, he died while he was, I want to say still in office, because that's kind of what it feels like. Like
Honestly, yeah.
Yeah, like he passed away when he was still serving
just
the country.
salute him?
Well, yeah, of course I
Yeah.
did. Put some respect on that guy's name. It'd be so weird if it was just like, okay, boom, this guy now, and that's it. So maybe they need to ease people into it.
I mean, it could be. I don't know.
That makes
I'm
sense.
saying it could be. To be honest, I don't watch Jeopardy as nearly as much as either of you two.
I haven't watched it in a long time. Although no, that's not true. I used to watch it every day.
Yeah, you used to watch it a lot.
That used to be part of my job. I didn't tell you that, like back when I started, but you were the first person I thought of because I would watch every day that I was working. The Jeopardy for the next day would come in,
Oh.
so I would have to watch it to like make sure there were no like mistakes or anything.
Ooh.
or
I
whatever.
could see it a day
Oh,
early.
that's so exciting.
Yeah, it was. I loved it.
You probably could find a website that lets you gamble on Jeopardy.
Well, the thing is, one, legally I couldn't do that
Why?
because I signed a contract that said I wouldn't.
Well,
And also they shoot Jeopardy like 3 months in advance.
Yeah.
So everybody, like, the information is already out there. That's why, like, speaking of James H, whatever, Jimmy H, when he lost, everybody was like, oh, tonight is the show where he loses. Like, everybody knew that like a week before or whatever.
yeah.
So you would have to find somebody really, really stupid to
let you
bet on Jeopardy.
Yeah, but you can.
You can find stupid people.
Yeah.
I guess that's true. So what do you guys think of this like snow is fake deal?
I've seen a
Did
lot
you
about
see
this. Have you seen any of this?
No. What?
Well, can I go?
What?
I'll fill you in real quick. So there's people, and of course it's the most Texas thing of all time too, right? So there's this huge,
okay, now, okay.
yeah.
Okay.
So everything that's going on in Texas, which one, we're not to joke on the situation because there is some serious, there is some serious
like
problems
they
in
are-
Texas. We
yeah.
hope everybody there is okay. But now that we've said that, we're gonna start to make fun of the whole situation. People are convinced that the snow is fake. They've been doing a couple different tests. I've seen the microwave test. I've seen the lighter test. It almost inspired me actually to go get a snowball myself because the viral video at first was like somebody taking a snowball and trying to light it with a lighter, and not only was it not melting, but it was like burning. Right? It was turning. I've never tried this. I've since seen people in New York try it, and the same thing happened to their snow. And I think we have real snow here. But I've also seen videos of the people in Texas putting snow in the microwave, and rather than the snow melting, it looks like you're putting tinfoil in the microwave.
Right. There's like sparks and stuff that start going.
So,
Well, I mean, where are they getting this snow from?
so this is the
Bill
this
Gates.
Is, so yeah. So
if
no,
you ask
seriously,
them.
yeah. So the thing about Texas is the only state in the country that their electric grid is completely independently run. It's not run by the government. And so pretty much people are saying that this whole storm in Texas that's shut down so much of the state was intentional, somehow planned by the government and also Bill Gates' name gets mentioned to try to prove to Texas that like they need the rest of the country, right?
Mm-hmm.
Like, so then
I didn't hear the reasoning why people thought that.
Okay, so I guess that's
no,
what
I'm not
it
saying
is.
that's wrong.
Yeah.
I'm just saying like that.
No,
was
I guess I haven't talked, but that's
thing.
why people, Texas, obviously a very Republican state. The people of Texas are going to blame Democrats. That's what they do, and say that like this was a whole ploy to try to prove to Texas that like they couldn't survive without the current U.S. government.
You can't secede from the union.
Virtually,
like, let's be real. I think we'd be fine without Texas. The rest of us.
I like Texas.
I do like Texas.
And also, I
we got fans in Texas. We can't alienate.
Yeah, no,
Sorry.
I mean, I like Texas. I've liked being there.
I've never been to Texas. Oh wait, no, I was.
You've definitely been to Texas. Yeah, but that was when we were younger. I don't know. I like Texas. I always said that if I was like 40 and I still like hadn't found a job and was just like really down on my luck, I was just gonna move to Texas and become a game warden.
Oh, okay.
Like
Sure.
like the environmental, like they just drive around and like arrest people for like poaching deer and stuff like that. They don't make a lot of money.
Yeah.
But like you get a truck that says like Texas Game Warden.
And that's all you really need.
Yeah, and give me like a double wide and some internet access.
Oh, a double wide trailer.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
I would do all right for myself down in Texas, I think.
But it's interesting to see people talk about snow being fake because nobody, like, I'm not a scientist anymore, and I don't think that a lot of those
you were
folks
one to begin
everywhere-
with?
Yeah.
Well-
Yeah.
Okay.
It's a long story.
But I don't think any of those folks are scientists. And like, a weather machine is like, what do you think? Like, do you think it's like Doctor Doom? Maybe you know what though?
Here's
Maybe
thing,
they
though,
do.
Is one, yeah, it could be. And here's the other thing. Like, obviously, we could strap on our tinfoil hats as tight
Sure.
as we want, right? But I mean, who knows? What if? What if our
there's
snow's fake? What if the whole winter's fake? Okay, think about this. Flip the script. You got people in Texas blaming the government.
Mm-hmm.
What if it's actually the opposite side of the government trying to prove to the current government that global warming doesn't exist?
I think that's probably part of it.
But it could be.
I mean,
you could actually blame. You could
not
blame
that it's
either
actually
side.
part of it, but you know what I mean. Like, if it were a whole thing, then that's probably why somebody would do it.
See, but what about the first thing that I pointed out? That would be the opposite reason that they would do it. They would do it to prove to Texas that they need the help of a strong U.S. government.
Sure.
Involved in all their.
There was a
information.
big chunk of what you just said that I did zone out for.
Yeah.
Okay, I'm really
I'll
glad
admit.
I wasn't the only person.
I'm making sense. For anybody that's still listening, I'm making sense out of this whole scenario.
Making Sense with Matt Canada.
Yeah, starting my own podcast
Called Making Sense.
called Making
But it's
Sense.
spelled all wrong because, once
Yeah,
again,
can't read.
Matt can't read. That could be another great
And I've told
podcast
this
name.
on here before.
Let's just do a podcast where we just make up names for other podcasts.
Yeah.
Tough Cookies, I call that name. I think that's a great name for a podcast.
We've talked about this before too. We have to stop saying things on the podcast that, I guess if we're saying them, it's different.
Right.
We did have a problem with our guests saying
our
ideas
guests come
that
up with really good ideas.
Yeah.
And then
And we're like,
it's like, if we do that, do they have
do
to
we
get a
own
piece
that?
of
Yeah.
Who
determines?
owns that?
Yeah.
It's tough to say. But speaking of shows and things like that, you did when we were at Fredonia, we were both at the TV station there, and you did one of my top 2 shows of all time that was there.
Fred Before Bed. No.
Oh my God, that show! I feel like I don't really feel that anger now, but I feel like I'm remembering I really didn't like. No, I did like that show. What I didn't like was they had a cappella people on all the time because it's hard. You have to have a musical guest, I guess, because it's a late night show or whatever, and so the easiest people to get are a cappella people.
Yeah, because those are their only gigs.
I don't know.
Nobody else is.
I just can't stand
There's
acapella.
I knew some people that sang in an a cappella group at Canisius, so I won't dig on a cappella.
And
I love the Pitch Perfect movies.
The first one's just fine.
Yeah.
But the second one
I would
is
take that.
terrible, and the third one I don't remember.
I don't even know.
Because I think I did see it, and it was just so bad.
I don't know if I've seen all three either, but there was a comment, like, our Aunt Lenore, who lives in Texas, by the way, like, always referred to the fact that Pitch Perfect was, like, my favorite movie. And I don't know why, and I would never tell her otherwise. Like, if she was like, oh, look, Matt, your favorite movie's on, I'd be like, oh, yeah, let's watch it. But it's really not. Like, I like it. It's entertaining, but...
That's just one of those things.
Yeah.
But on Sydney's show, there was no acapella,
No.
which is not the only reason it was great.
I mean, unless I was, obnoxiously singing,
which is
but
fine.
yeah.
But that was a show. There's been two shows when I was there that I feel like really had kind of this feeling of freedom and like fun, that made it really fun to watch. And Cooking Wave R.I.P. was the 1st one. That show was fucking insane. But your show was the other one because not only were you showing people things they could do on their own, but it also felt, I don't know, there was just something so kind of cheerful about it. It felt like you were really good at connecting with your guests about different things, and as like a viewer, that really brought me in. Do you miss doing that show?
I do, because it gave me something to do.
Gotcha.
Because, I mean, I don't really do much of anything now. Yeah, no, Nitty Gritty was... It was kind of like a hot flash. It was more just, I would let whoever was on crew, whoever was my guest, whoever was in the live studio audience,
that was the best.
do whatever they wanted.
You guys had a live studio audience?
I did. It consisted of 0 to... No, actually, I think there was always one person. 1 to 3 people. Yeah.
Yeah, whoever was floating around that you could
Basically,
get.
yeah.
And would they clap and cheer and laugh and like...
Oh, I would make them do
stuff?
that. Yeah.
Yeah. See, that's good fun.
Yeah.
I was in it maybe every episode of the first season.
Yeah.
And it was the best.
You got to be that person.
Yeah, I clap. If Sydney says clap, you better start clapping. That's just kind of the way it goes.
Yeah. Well,
I mean,
that's just a general
chances
rule
are,
of thumb.
if you guys didn't do something, I would wait and look at you.
Or have Haley or somebody like write something on the board and be like, you guys better start this. She was like stage managing or whatever.
Yeah. Haley liked to, because we had one of those like little dry erase boards, so that way I could get like time increments, because like we would film for about an hour and I would never know what time it was. Like, we would be talking about something or we'd be doing something and then only 5 minutes would pass and I'd be like, I feel like we've been here for a half hour. Like, oh, good. Let's figure out what else to talk about. But she would always write the randomest things on there. And I think one of the shining moments was when she wrote that her penis fell off. And I think that was you. I think you ran with that.
Oh, was that when I
think
did
so.
that thing?
Yeah, because there was a moment where we used pipe cleaners to make dicks.
Yeah.
And my guest was very uncomfortable.
Hey.
She seemed to roll with it.
Well,
I thought
yeah.
she rolled with
I think
it pretty well.
she opened up after that. It was very stiff up until that moment. Because then you went on this whole rant that I ended up blocking out and covering with music.
I wouldn't say it was a rant. I would say it was more of a lesson in anatomy.
Oh, okay. Now I remember. Now I remember.
Because it was all about...
Yeah.
Which, for some reason, this surprised me that, like, not everybody knew. But, like, there's a reason that one testicle hangs lower than the other.
You know what's funny is that before you started this story, when you first started, and you were like, well, the rant was you went like this right away. And I said, this dude's going to talk about ball sacks. Like, I know he's... I almost tried to stop you, and then I was like, you know what? I'm just going to let him go. Did you explain the reason? I don't even think I know.
Yeah, it's so that they don't smack into each other.
It's a dumb reason.
You want?
I mean,
No,
it
it's
makes
not.
sense.
No,
I
I'm-
don't have one, but it
Yeah.
makes sense.
Well, I think only Lance Armstrong and a select other only have one. But for those of us who have
Pat,
two, that's
can
why.
I shout somebody out?
Who has one testicle? Who are you about to shout out?
A friend of mine. He doesn't actually only have one testicle.
Oh, okay. But I don't know if he'd want that.
Yeah,
shout
I'm
out.
not even gonna say his name, but I'll tell you. Can I tell you the story now? It's pretty damn funny. It's actually super funny.
Okay, go for it.
So
I
we
feel
had
like,
a
wait,
friend-
hang on. I feel like you're hyping this up a little too much. So
No,
the pressure
I mean,
is
yeah,
on.
probably not gonna be. We had a friend. I played hockey with him for a long time, and for whatever reason, I don't know where it started. A rumor. Somebody started a legitimate rumor, like not one of us, that he only had one testicle. So of course, when we found out, we thought it was hysterical. So we would tell every single person, whether we were traveling as a team, we were out at, it doesn't matter what, we would tell every single person, hey, like, yo, this guy on our team, like, we'll call him over here. Like, he's only got one testicle. And people would, he started rolling with it. He would just tell people, yeah, it's true. To the point where we were telling people that he had 0 testicles, like, for years. And people would be like, oh, my God. And he'd be like, well, I actually still have one. It's wooden, though. And people would be like, oh, my God, you have a wooden testicle? And he'd be like, yeah. That was my story, my testicle story. Sorry, I know it
Okay.
wasn't that
All
good.
right.
I know everybody's disappointed. It's damn funny, though, and
But is it?
It's like George Washington's teeth. Same situation. Same type of wood, actually.
yeah,
for teeth
cherry.
and testicle.
Cherry.
Cherry.
Yep. Mm-hmm.
That
Holds up well. It does, cherry. It's good. It's good wood.
But like George Washington's teeth, I mean, they obviously weren't wooden, but they were taken from slaves.
Yeah.
So I don't really know how that correlates on an actual.
I didn't know that. Is that a Jeopardy fact?
No, that's a true fact.
Yeah.
So I guess
Well,
it
I
could be
mean,
on Jeopardy.
yeah.
I forgot that was the truth because
Yeah.
everybody says it's wooden. I guess because they don't want to talk about
Slaves.
that he had slave teeth in
Yeah.
his mouth.
So he had real other people's teeth?
Yeah.
Mhm.
How'd they put him in? They just super glue?
I mean, I don't really know the mechanics of it, but I'm sure it was something similar to like dentures.
Yeah, but I feel like if you have to make dentures out of the teeth of other people, then you're probably not far enough along in the world of dentistry to be able to be giving people dentures.
Well, this is also the late 1700s,
no, that's
or
what I
early
mean.
1800s.
So that's why I'm like,
so
how the hell did they put these teeth in?
you got to start somewhere.
They probably took like some tree sap. That's probably where the wooden part came from, and just glued them in there.
Because tree sap.
Actually,
would
what
just
is that tree that has
fall
like a
apart.
gummy substance in it?
The gum tree.
Yep, that's it.
I feel like that's something.
That
It's
might
from a
be real,
cartoon
but
at
there is,
least.
but I'm pretty sure there's a tree that has like a gummy substance that's like a pink color. I bet you. So now this is speculation, but I bet you that whatever that tree was, they used that material to hold the teeth in, and that's why people would say that his teeth were wood because they were technically also made out of.
I gotta be honest, and
tree.
again, I'm not a dentist anymore, but I think that they probably just shoved them in there. Would be my guess, which is fucked
How
up.
would
but
they
everything
stay
was-
in
Well-
there?
They just they shove them in.
I don't think that's how that works.
How do
Well,
you-
actually,
What happened to his real teeth?
actually,
Okay,
oh, I
there
have
you
no
go.
idea.
fucking fell
But
out.
I did hear something that like if your tooth falls out, but the nerves are still like preserved within a certain time period, you could be able to stick it back in, and the nerves should connect together.
Yeah, that's why I just watched a movie yesterday where this woman had her tooth knocked out and she put it in a thing of milk, and then boop, they popped it back in.
Mm-hmm.
Like tooth cracked in half, broken, or like
No, like the
full
whole tooth
How
came
does
out.
a full rooted tooth just fall
Well,
out of a mouth?
I think that if I'm remembering the movie correctly, I think that like the tooth was maybe just loose, like really loose, and then she just pulled the whole thing out, and then she put it in some milk. Next scene, dentist's office, boom, bang, bang.
What movie was it?
It was a new Netflix movie. We're doing it on Film Juice next week.
What's it called?
It's called I Care a Lot. It was
Oh,
crazy.
I've seen.
Did you guys watch it?
No, okay.
Not
So
yet,
I have a
no.
question.
Fucking
I have a
insane.
question. And you're gonna talk about film juice, so I guess
Yeah,
we won't
I don't want to
get
get too
into the
much
movie.
away, but
But just a quick question
doesn't
because
really matter, I
I
guess.
saw it, and the title sounded really good. It was like something about like this woman's a con artist and she thinks she's the best until she faces somebody else that's better. But then, so I'm like, I was super excited. I'm like, I'm gonna watch this movie. It's gonna be an action movie, and I was looking to watch like a a rather intense action movie, and like con artist stuff always kind of. And then when I clicked on the movie, the categories that came up was like comedy / like LGBTQ comedy.
Oh, see, that's...
And I was like, well, I don't really want to watch a funny movie. Nice.
Hello? Who is it?
Somebody from Houston, Texas is calling me. That you can't even see it on the
Can
camera.
I answer it?
Fucking government,
I think,
man.
sure.
They probably heard whatever. Yeah. It's gonna be.
You can put it on speaker.
Hello?
We actually have to cut that out.
Yeah.
Because...
Wait, did you just hang up on her?
I did,
Yeah.
because...
But now we don't know.
I had to hang up on it because...
You can't have.
we can't have her. We can't record her without her consent. So just so everybody knows, we did just receive a phone call from Houston, Texas. It is confirmed that it was about Bill Gates and the fake snow.
They knew we were talking about it and had
so they called in, and we had to cut it out because she said something. This woman on the other line. And we realized you can't record people without their consent. And we weren't... I don't know. I guess we could have told her, but she probably would have just hung up right away.
I mean, I don't even know what to say about that. I'm very curious to what it was. I was expecting like your car's extended warranty stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah,
No,
that's what I was expecting too, which is why I decided to answer it.
We all get...
We all were like...
when we all heard a real person on the other end, we just...
Well, I was waiting to be like, no, he's not available.
Yeah,
like,
I'm still a little,
can I take a message?
Oh
Still,
boy.
yeah,
I just panicked.
Yeah,
I was
me
just
too.
thinking
I got
about lawyer
nervous.
stuff, and I was like, oh fuck, god damn it. Maybe next time. Maybe next time we'll get them. Sorry about that.
Well, I don't even remember what we were talking.
We were talking about that movie.
Oh
I
yeah,
care a lot.
Is it like actiony though? Like, should I go back?
Is it
and watch
actiony?
it?
There's some action, but it's crazy. So it's not really about a con artist. This is because what she's
you don't
doing.
have to get into it too much.
What she's doing is not illegal, but it's fascinating what she's doing because this happens in real life.
Mm-hmm.
She gets
Wait, is this gonna spoil it?
no.
Okay, go
Are you
ahead.
sure?
Because I actually do kind of want to watch it.
Yeah, I won't spoil
Okay,
anything.
go ahead.
I won't spoil anything. I'll just tell you
Oh,
what
the
she
way that you were
does.
talking about it made it seem
Yeah,
like
I
you
know,
did watch
yeah.
it.
Oh, me?
Yeah,
Yeah.
I thought you
No.
did too.
No, I was going to watch it, but I wanted to watch an action movie, and
Yeah.
so when it came up as a comedy, I didn't watch it.
It's not super actiony. So yeah, I think if that's what you're looking for, maybe not. But it's really, again, I won't say too much about it, but like it's interesting what this character is doing. She pays doctors to like give her information about their patients who have a lot of money. And so the doctor, if they're like irritating patients, the doctor kind of pawns them off on this woman who gets a judge to grant her through an emergency process. What is the word?
Guardianship?
Guardianship. Yes, thank you, Sydney. Guardianship over these old people. So she has access to
all their financials. And
all
stuff
of
like that?
until they die. She has access to everything. She can like sell their houses and all their goods. If they have kids, it doesn't matter. It's got nothing. They can't do anything about it. And she just puts them in like old folks' homes
and just
and
spends all
basically
their money?
just keeps them trapped. Yeah, and then takes all that money, puts it in her company, pays herself. She's got like this whole company in the movie. It was so fucked up. It was crazy. But again, like that is something that can happen, and it does happen. And I was like, man, because you kind of know, like, let's be honest, we all know that a lot of times old people really get the shaft, but to see a kind of an in-depth look at it was horrifying. It was scary. It was honestly like super scary. Like, what if that happened to like our grandma or something, right? Or our mom. Not that no offense, Mom, you're not that old, but like eventually, like, what if that happened? Like, it'd be. I mean,
I would say we could probably avoid it by not letting our mom get bought by.
No, because the whole thing was if the doctor says that this person can't take care of themselves and they need a guardian immediately, it's an emergency, the person who is becoming the ward, they don't even need to get notified. The woman just shows up. This happens in the movie.
So the person
just shows up at the house and says, "So this is a court order, and a judge.
I'm taking care of you
and
now.
I'm taking care of you now." Yep.
That seems like maybe something that should be illegal.
Yeah,
But you're saying
100%.
Yeah.
I don't know. I haven't watched the movie. I don't
Well,
really wanna
watch it.
It
is.
now. I kind of know
It
what
is
happens.
good. I got some
Kinda
more
ruined
opinions
it
on
for
it.
me.
I guess tune into Film Juice to hear the whole deal.
Yeah,
a lot
there you go.
A lot of cross promotion this episode, but
I will say though, the lead actress in that movie, I just watched Gone Girl.
Love Gone Girl.
I've never seen
It was a very good movie. And I was rooting for her character the entire time. Yeah, but it was more along the lines of like, men aren't shit, like
Yeah.
that sort of thing.
Yeah. Gone Girl. Gone Girl's a fucked up movie.
It is, but I would watch it again. I have the book, and I was waiting to read the book before I watched the movie, and then I had the day off last week, and I was like, let's just watch it.
Yeah, I've not seen it, but I get the sense that like her, they kind of chose her for the character in this movie because of
Because of that
Gone
movie?
Girl, because she's very intense.
Yeah.
And
Oh,
I
yeah.
assume
Who
that
is-
Gone
I
Girl's
don't know
very
her.
intense. I don't know her name.
I don't know her
can't
name.
remember
She's
what
a
it is.
blonde girl.
Yeah.
I don't know who it is, but okay. I mean, I know, like, I don't know her name. I'm just trying to picture her in other things, but I can't even picture her face.
Yeah. It's really good though. I don't know. Check it out. Feel free.
Well,
Yeah.
go ahead.
Why don't we get
Yeah,
into
is that what you're gonna say?
the old
That's what I
who
was
would
gonna
win of the
say.
week?
Okay.
Because we got a good one here.
Were you going to say that? Because I was going to say that.
Yeah, that's what.
Okay.
Yes.
No, I'm just making. I know you said it, but
Yeah.
I'm just, yeah.
Yeah.
That's cool. We were both going to say it.
This is where
Kiwi.
What?
Kiwi.
Kiwi?
Yeah, the fruit, remember?
Oh, because we both
Yeah.
thought kiwi.
She's like, see, I'm just letting you know. We're here today.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep. See,
What
this
did
is
I sign up for?
this is what
Not
happens.
what you thought you did.
This is what happens.
It's
when we
like
sit on the same side of the table.
you
I
are
can't
now in the
stand it.
position of that girl that or I actually don't know if it was a girl. I just made that assumption. The guest that came on and had to make penises out of bendy straws. Or whatever the
Honestly,
hell.
I didn't really give her much context either. It was more just like, oh yeah, we're gonna, I'm just gonna ask a couple questions. We're gonna make a craft, that sort of thing. I forget what we were making. I think they were finger puppets. Right?
Yeah. Man, that show was so good. You guys did all kinds of cool stuff.
There's
was-
another
It was a
show.
fever dream. That's what
What
it was.
is that show?
Those are the best though.
It was. Well, especially to that every time Dan, who was I don't even remember what he did. I think he was either audio or sometimes he was technical director.
Yeah.
I would ask him to get stuff because I would either forget or just to make him come on the show, and I would make a whole spectacle out of it.
That
it was good.
kind of reminds me another one of my favorite things about the show, because it wasn't live. You would tape it and then
There's too much pressure for it to be live.
yeah, I'm sure, but it was kind of a blessing because not to butter your bread, as they say, but I think I told you earlier, Sydney, you're the best video editor that I've ever seen. And it was
I
very
would not
evident
give
in
me
show.
that title.
I would absolutely give you that title because your timing is unbelievable. And that show was so much better because you would edit it and then you would toss in like all these things and like, people who are
Yep.
listening, I think, know exactly what I'm talking about. All that kind of stuff. And it just made it so much more fun to watch. I loved watching that show.
It was mainly see the bits in the show either were created out of how late am I staying up to create this, how much time do I have, and who is with me currently watching me edit. Because a lot of those came from like, oh, what should I do here, and someone would be like, oh, well, maybe what if you did this, or whatnot, or what else can I add to this. The last season I got very into the Blue Man Group. I don't really know why.
Obviously.
And that became a running joke through every single episode. And I mean, because of COVID, it got shortened, so it was only 4 episodes, but every single one had something to do about the Blue Man Group.
When you say you were really into the Blue Man Group.
I didn't listen to them.
Okay.
Has
so-
anybody actually ever seen them perform
You
live?
see, the funny thing is that they actually were in Buffalo, like I think early February. I was planning on going to see them, but no one wanted to go with me. I literally went around to I don't even know how many people saying, I will buy your ticket if you would come with me to go see this show. No one took me up on that offer. So I felt weird going by
Jesus,
myself.
That's insane. Well, I almost feel like you wouldn't have been the only one.
Yeah, that was there alone. Yeah, there would have been. Yeah,
but I think you definitely go see the Blue Man Group just because, like, obviously, and I don't even know if I don't know what they like. If they
paint
have
themselves blue and they
right.
play the drums and water and paint splash.
But I don't know. What I'm saying is, I don't know if they like have original tracks or if they've ever like play the hits.
Yeah,
or whatever. Like Blue Man
I don't think
Group
anybody's like
hits.
yeah.
But but that show is more of like a spectacle. Like it's more of like it's like a percussion version of Cirque du Soleil. So I think I can't believe nobody went to go see it.
I know.
I don't think they're doing
offended.
circus acts though. Cirque du Soleil might have been a stretch.
I'm
just saying
it's akin to like it's
a show based purely on entertainment.
It's like
it's a
Stomp.
spectacle. Yes, it's like
it's like Stomp.
Or well, what was it? In Bob's Burgers.
Cake.
Patty
cake. Yeah.
Definitely, I don't watch Bob. Definitely Stomp like though.
I'm sorry. Did you just say that you don't watch Bob's Burgers?
No.
It's a great show.
First of all, what is wrong with you? Secondly, I'm offended. It's
It's
such a good show.
I mean, I'm not a big like adult animation watcher. I mean,
Okay.
I've watched Rick and Morty. You know, I'll watch Family Guy. I'll watch like the like like the basic stuff that's always on if it's on and I have virtually nothing else to do. But I don't really watch TV in general, let alone adult animation. So
I think that when we first met, one of the things that I noticed was you had a Tina pin or something on your backpack because it was in that class.
Gene. It was Gene.
That's what I'm talking about. Because, oh man, look, I like Bob's Burgers a lot. I can't stand Tina. I think she's the worst part about that show, and it makes me angry that people really like her so much.
I know who that is. She's the
everybody knows who's Tina.
Mm-hmm.
Gene, first of all, Gene and Louise are the tops, and I feel like Louise gets a pretty good amount of credit. Gene is in some ways my personal hero as a character. Is
that the husband and wife?
No.
Oh.
No, Gene is like
They're
their
the kids.
son.
Oh,
Yeah, and Louise is also one of their kids. She's the best.
Okay.
She's the best part of that show. But Gene is the other best part of that show, and he doesn't get enough love.
No, he's definitely very underrated. But my top favorite is Linda. She has a special place in my heart. My car is named after her. Yeah.
It's a beautiful thing.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, Linda is great. But the more I watch the show, the more I find myself relating to Bob.
Don't we all?
Because like his top line is I love you all, you're all horrible, or whatever.
Oh, I love you, but you're all terrible.
Yep. And I feel like that's kind of what's tattooed on my heart.
Yeah, I could see you. Yeah, you know how people say they like they wear their heart on their sleeve. If that's your heart, then you wear it on your sleeve. Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
But anyway, should we get into the Who Would Win of the Week?
Sure.
I know we got a little
Let's do it.
distracted.
Mm-hmm.
Go ahead, Andy.
Okay. This Who Would Win. I don't know if we've ever done a tag team before.
We've done two.
Oh, will you bring up the names real quick so I don't forget
I know them.
Oh, okay, great. So it's Zach and Cody of the Sweet Life and Zach and Cody versus Annie and Hallie of the Parent Trap. The twins in the Parent Trap, the twins in Zach and Cody going at it.
Hallie, Taylor, Annie, James. I think
It's
might
Parker. It's Hallie Parker. That much
Parker.
I know.
Yeah,
Which that movie is phenomenal.
unbelievable.
Yeah.
Have you ever watched the original one?
No.
Neither have
It
I.
looks
I don't
bad.
know why anybody would. Yeah, but yeah, the one with Lindsay Lohan is unbelievable. I don't know. I mean, I'll go.
Yeah, start us off.
The biggest issue going into a fight between these two sets of twins is that Zach and the Sweet Life of Zach and Cody was, it's a much longer TV series than just the compacted 2-hour movie that we have in
87
Parent Trap.
episodes, not including Sweet Life on Deck.
So I don't know why you know that, but so you do get to see Zach and Cody get put in a lot more situations than the Parent Trap sisters. With that being said, the Parent Trap sisters, one, I think that you're going to have a hard time making the argument for Zach and Cody in this fight because the Parent Trap sisters are both good at everything. They're good at poker. They're good at fencing. They were able at one point to get, one was able to get the other's furniture from their room at camp onto the roof of the other one's, like, bunkhouse.
Yeah.
Cabin.
Bunkhouse.
As like a 8, I don't know how old they were in the movie. Like a 10-year-old girl, maybe?
Probably like 11.
Yeah.
12. My
12?
first guess was going to be
11 seems
12,
like
but
a
I felt
good
high
age.
at 12. Yeah, I felt high at 12.
Yeah.
Also, they're both very independent. Right?
The sets of twins, you mean, or just
No, I'm talking about
Holly and
just
Annie?
I'm talking
Okay.
about just Hallie and Annie. And you see them, I mean, literally change places and fly to different parts of different countries, and they're just okay with kind of rolling with the punches in order. Whereas in the Sweet Life of Zach and Cody, I feel like as much as they may have ran rampant through that hotel, like they were both kind of, I mean, like scaredy cats. Like they were afraid of. I mean, authority was their big thing too. Like they didn't like to get yelled at.
Mm-hmm. Shout out
Whereas
Mr. Mosby.
Whereas the Parent Trap sisters, they don't give a fuck. They'll fence the shit out of you if you try to yell at them. Like, I feel like they weren't even able to get disciplined. They tried to get disciplined. They put them in the same bunk, and it turned out that they were just twins, and now they're best friends, and they got their parents back together. I think that somebody else needs to talk is what I think.
Yeah, I think you might be right.
Yeah.
What do you think, Sydney?
So, okay, yeah, I'm kind of leaning towards the Parent Trap twins just because they were able to fool both of their parents. Like, that's such a big deal that you could just swap lives, essentially, and your parent is oblivious. First of all, bad parenting. Secondly, I just like that. I feel like there's a lot of psychological warfare they've got going on, which I think kind of puts them a little bit above Zach and Cody. Because kind of what you were saying, that they're also independent, where I feel like Zach and Cody
Are not.
They're
They
dependent
rely
on each
on
other.
the walls of their hotel to keep them alive.
That
that's
too,
the
yeah.
thing. A lot of their adventures are like they get crazy, but they do just happen in that hotel. They don't really. If they ever got onto the street, then they might just
Right.
go insane.
It would be different if their hotel was like the Cecil Hotel, like if that's where they were living. Have you watched that?
Okay, I have one.
Should we wait till after we finish the Hoot of the
Yeah,
Week?
okay, that's.
yeah.
I have a lot of thoughts and
Okay,
feelings.
I'm
on
in.
it.
I'm in.
Okay,
I'll fill
I like
in on
it.
that.
I like it. This is so fascinating. Both sets of twins obviously get into a lot of trouble. The Sweet Life, those two fellas, their exploits seem they're a lot more. I want to use the term hijinksical, which I think is a word that I'm coining right now.
Okay.
Hijinksical,
Use it in
featuring a lot of
sentence.
hijinks.
Mm-hmm.
Hijinks. Zach and Cody's antics were quite hijinksical. I think that's a Pokemon also, but they did experience a lot more of them. However, Hallie.
Annie. Think of it as like they rhyme, but it's not the end of the word; it's the beginning of the word. Annie, Hallie. Do you know what I'm saying? The A is like
No, not at all.
Think of it as they
that
rhyme,
makes
but
complete
they don't
fucking
rhyme.
sense. By the way, and let me explain it to you. I shouldn't say rhyme wasn't the right word. The right word
But
was
they have they make
same
the same
A.
sound.
The same A.
Sure.
Because you keep trying to say
I keep trying to say Holly.
yeah, but it's not Haley or it's Hallie.
It's Hallie. So
That's stupid. First of all, who names their kid? Wait.
Hallie.
Now I'm overthinking it.
Hallie.
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 Hawaii.
Wait, say
So
it again.
Holly.
Hallie.
Hallie.
Hallie and Annie.
Hallie. No, I don't like that.
Yeah, we gotta. Can we get somebody on that? Can we get somebody to change that? Hallie and Annie, they really only have one event that's like bonkers, but it's a pretty intense one. Like you guys both kind of like Sydney. Basically, you said tricking the parents and stuff. Obviously, we should note they did not trick their butler
Butlers.
or their
Well.
like housekeeper.
Yeah.
So that also says a lot about the type of parents that we're dealing with.
Well, see, I have two things to say. Well, I feel like I have to stay out in the Hallie Annie thing, like the name Hallie. I kind of like it. When it comes to the fight, though, the main argument that could be made for Zach and Cody, though, is that Zach and Cody grew up together, right? They've known each other their whole lives. The Parent Trap girls just met. I do think this argument gets debunked because of how just in touch they are instantly. But you know, some people might look at that as, you know, chemistry, even though it seems to be there, it may not be there as much as it is for Zach and Cody. To the parents. One, the butler knew. The man butler knew.
The man butler.
Well, because the lady, or I don't remember, she's not a butler, whatever
She's
she
like
is.
A maid?
She's a housekeeper.
Yeah.
you know?
Yeah, she just hangs out and does stuff for him. She picked up on it. The thing about saying that you blame the parents, I mean, the mom.
No, I don't blame. Well,
If you're,
no, I do blame the parents.
Because here's the thing. If you're a parent, so when they get back from camp, the parents have no clue, that the opposite twin was also at camp. So they still, in their minds, have no clue what this twin is doing. So even if your daughter comes back with the weirdest behavior you've ever seen, you can't assume she's a different person because you have no clue that, like, how
a
would
fair
she
point.
have possibly ever connected with the other twin?
That makes a lot of sense. So now the question becomes, what's wrong with the butler and the housekeeper that they immediately are like, different person, this is not the same child?
Because I think that there's an underlying story in the movie, if you really pay attention, that loosely translates to the male butler, like, overstaging this.
the man butler.
Like, I think that like, you can almost look at it as, like, she was the one from England was, like, virtually placed there because they thought that's what I think.
Also, wait. Oh, so it's been a while since I've seen the movie, but like the fact that she would have to speak with an English accent, like there's no way that her English accent was that good to fool anyone.
The mom.
A real English
but
person.
But
Right.
again, though, I mean, they do practice it. There's that scene in the movie, and some people are just naturally better at accents than others, so that could factor in.
Right, but
Andrew
she's
being
also
one of them.
how
Hello,
old?
governor.
Yep.
No,
that's-
but
yep.
11
again,
or
like,
12.
but again, like, if you sent your kid to a summer camp in a different country, and they came
That's
back
also very
talking,
strange.
which is why I'm saying I think that there's an underlying story that the butler from the English family
Yeah, the man butler.
has a hand in the fact that maybe he doesn't know that the other sister's gonna be there, but like I think he's really testing I think it was his idea. It was definitely his idea. I think.
That does
Back
make
to what
sense.
I was saying.
Okay.
Again, even if your kid comes back from camp and is speaking differently, you're not going to assume that they randomly found their twin and switched bodies. with
Right.
them.
So let me ask you guys this. This is obviously way off the rails of who would win the week. Let's say your kid does come back from summer camp. How soon after that do you start thinking that it's a different,
It's a
child?
different
How
child.
long does it take you to for that thought to like get into your head?
Well,
and
they
start
actually,
to grow.
as much as it seems like they lasted long, they only lasted like 3 or 4 days.
Oh, I think it was longer than that. I
No,
think it was
it's
a couple
not.
weeks.
It's not because what happens is the one sister calls the other sister and says, like, we have to do this right now. We can't wait another day because Dad's getting engaged.
Right. Okay.
So
That makes
that's
sense.
how
That-
she
that
gets
was-
Yeah, so
That's a
how,
great plot device.
Yeah. Just getting married.
Okay.
So, okay, but back to the who would win the week, though.
Yeah.
I'm going to lock in my answer as the Parent Trap sisters because I do think that they're just more independent, maybe even creative in a sense where they can come up with an idea of how to fool Zach and Cody.
I don't know
And
about
I
if
think
creative is the right
I don't
word.
think they're afraid. Like, I don't think they would be intimidated in any sense by Zach and Cody. I don't think they have a reason
No.
to, nor do
Yeah.
I think they would be intimidated by
especially
anybody.
since they were like, oh yeah, let's just swap lives and live in completely different countries.
Right.
That like,
These
there's,
girls aren't
there's no
afraid,
limits.
No, they're not
Yeah.
scared. So I'm going to lock that in as my answer.
I think that I almost said the twins. They're both twins. I think that Holly and Annie, Haley, fuck, I really thought I'd nailed it that time.
No, completely different name.
I think that Haley and Annie would for sure be able to outsmart Zach and Cody. However, the creative thing I definitely disagree with. I think Zach and Cody, they are kind of foolish enough or closed off enough, whatever, that they don't kind of realize their own limitations. So I think that they would be like, let's build like a fucking human-sized bird cage out of toilet paper rolls or something, and then drop it on them, and somehow it's heavy enough. Like, so if they were able to get the jump on them, then maybe they would win. However, even in that scenario, I think that Hallie and Annie would be able to say like, hey, let me out of here. And they'd be like, okay, sure. And it would be that easy for them to do it. And I think the independence thing, like you said, plays a huge factor. Like these girls, I don't know how much the fencing thing is going to come in, but they're definitely
If there's
badasses.
fencing swords, they can fence like no other.
So I think that there's really no picking Zach and Cody to ultimately win. I'm not saying that there are points in this fight where they wouldn't have the upper hand, because it's quite possible that they could get themselves in that position. But at the end of the day, to root against the Parent Trap twins is a massive folly.
Any thoughts?
Ditto. I don't know. I thought that you said it pretty well. I mean, there's pros and cons to both sides. That's about it. That's all I've got.
So unanimous sweep, which
Yeah.
doesn't happen often, but it does today. If you disagree with us, you can always vote on social media.
Battle
as
of
you
the
know.
Twins. Now,
Battle of
these
Twins.
twins versus
I have-
the Shining twins.
I was actually going to throw another honorable mention in there, and it was
Okay.
Dylan and Cole Sprouse today versus two Lindsay Lohans today. Real fight.
Is Lindsay Lohan behind the wheel of a motor vehicle?
No, but she's not. She can be under the influence of drugs.
Then I don't think they're going to be able to take her down.
Yeah. But I think that the Sprouse brothers probably do some drugs too. You know the one, feel like.
What?
I don't know. I could be wrong.
I hope
Okay,
not.
vote on that. Twitter, Instagram, vote on that stuff. We all, again, unanimous. So before we get out of here, let's touch on the Cecil Hotel then, because it came up, and now I feel like we
Right.
can't go past it. So you watched the
I did.
docuseries
I
on
forgot
Netflix.
that we were going to talk about
this is a real hotel?
Yeah.
This
Oh, yeah.
just came out. This is a brand new 2021 4-episode docuseries on Netflix. I don't even remember. It's the Cecil Hotel. It's about the murder of, or it's about the. It's not a murder. It's
Which
not,
murder? That's
yeah,
the real
it's-
question.
Yeah, it's about So what were you gonna say?
So basically, it was a lot of build up to nothing.
Yeah.
I saw a tweet yesterday that was like, this documentary could have been an email.
yeah. But it was
That's
still
hilarious.
good. I thought. I don't know if you
I-
enjoyed it.
I mean,
Good
I
pe-
watched the
yeah.
whole thing, so that's something.
It definitely makes you have to keep watching because it keeps the suspense factor going. When in reality, I mean, we won't spoil it. I would say go. I do think it's worth a watch. I think the story behind the hotel itself is interesting, even if you take away what the documentary is actually about, because the documentary is about a specific girl. And then I'll have one more thing to say once we're done recording because I don't want to ruin it. But I knew exactly what happened, and I'll explain why once we get there. But pretty much the hotel is like the most dangerous hotel in the world, they call it. Like, they don't know if it's haunted or what, but since it's like when it first opened, it was like high class, and then like depression came and it turned into just the bums from LA like would get enough money to get a room for a night and go in there and like shoot up and do whatever and rob, kill, whatever to people.
It's basically like borderline like a sleazy motel type thing, except it was a
But it's a huge
large
hotel.
hotel.
It's got like 700 rooms. So then in turn, like to try to like give business back, they split the hotel into 2 separate companies, and they were calling one the Stay on Main, which was like a cheap hostel virtually for like young like tourists. And it was going, that was going whatever. The problem was that the hotel itself is in the, I don't even remember what they call it.
It's in the same area as Skid Row.
Skid Row, yeah.
Yeah, which is where a lot of homeless people stay. There's a bunch of homeless shelters and whatnot. But yeah, it's not a great part of LA. I think they said it's in like the downtown area.
Yeah,
but yeah,
it is. But it's like notoriously the worst part, crime-wise, homeless people everywhere. And that was the thing, is it's very unsuspecting. Like if you came across the Cecil Hotel, you'd be like, oh yeah, I don't want to stay there. But if you were to come across the Stay on Main website, they had you'd be like, oh, this looks like a place where I'd want to stay. And all it was they had different lobbies, but then like 3 floors of the Cecil were just the Stay on Main, and they just repainted everything in those 3 floors.
Yeah, both hotels shared an elevator or 2 elevators or something like that. So that was the only point where anyone from either hotel would really interact with each other.
I mean, yeah, well, supposedly, but then and I was also thinking while watching it, well, if they're in the same elevator, what's stopping somebody from the Cecil just getting off on a floor that is technically considered?
Well, I mean, exactly.
You know what I mean?
That's another thing too, where it was a lot of false advertising.
It was very, it seems like that should have been illegal. Speaking of things that we talked about in this episode that should have been illegal, is calling that the Stay on Main and not having a disclaimer that said like, hey, by the way, this is really just the Cecil Hotel in the middle of the worst part of Los Angeles.
I mean, I'm sure that there was something, but for a tourist, I mean, in the documentary, they interviewed a couple from the UK, and I think that they were technically staying.
They were staying in the Stay on Main, yes, but they didn't realize what it was. The thing is, it's so cheap to stay there.
Yeah, that was their draw in.
Yeah, pennies on the dollar kind of thing per night. So if you were going as somebody young who wanted to explore a city like Los Angeles, it's a crazy documentary. I mean, it's definitely not the best thing you can watch, but I would say it's worth a watch just because the history of the hotel is wacky.
I mean,
and then at one point, this random like Satan worshiper comes to play that part.
Got it.
Yeah.
Okay, that's what I was waiting for.
That was just a blip. That's really what it was.
It was actually in there for no reason.
Yeah, they drew it out for no reason, and it was more just like this poor guy was being bashed because people thought that he was a murderer based off of this woman's disappearance and stuff like that. But they were drawing from, he had a YouTube video of him saying that he was staying at the Cecil Hotel, and that was from, I think, a year prior to her staying there or something like that.
But people just were so convinced, they started calling, you gotta watch it. They ruined this dude's, you know what I mean? You know how the story goes.
I mean, I would say we could just tell you what happens, because I feel like your time would be better spent elsewhere, because it's a lot of nothing, I feel like. I mean, I think that it was very well produced and very well put together, but if you look up the story, I think that's more than enough than watching 4 hours of content.
I would say what we really want to see is a documentary on the Cecil Hotel itself. I know they did it on Ghost Hunters or something like that. They claim it's the most haunted place they've ever done their thing in.
But don't they say that every episode?
I'm sure they do. Yeah, I'm sure.
There's
they do.
I don't know. There's that prison where the Adam Sandler movie, The Longest Yard, was shot. That's supposed to be the most haunted place in the world.
Did you know that? I'm now convinced The Longest Yard. So I didn't know. This is. It doesn't matter. It's so irrelevant. Neither of you guys are gonna care.
Okay.
Okay, great. Anyways,
yeah. I mean,
and so there was a guy. I think he was like an assistant director on that shoot, and the director, one of the producers, was like, "I'll give you they went around the crew actually, and they collected money. They ended up getting, I want to say it was $300, but it might have been more. It was like, if you stay the night in this prison, the morning we'll come get you. If you stay locked in a cell for the night, we'll come get you. You get $300 or however much money. It might have been more that you get." So the guy was like, "Yeah, sure, I'll do it. I'm not afraid," and stayed there all night. Next morning, everybody kind of comes back in, and they let him out of the cell, and he was like, I don't want the money. I'm just not going to, I just don't want to talk about it. And he wouldn't tell anybody what happened to him while he was in there. But it sounds like it was so fucked up that he just, I don't know.
Wants to act like it never happened?
Huh?
That's crazy. I never heard that story.
Yeah. Check it out.
All right.
Wherever that prison is. If you like being
Texas.
freaked out by stuff.
It's in Texas. Well, according to the movie, it's in Texas.
Yeah, but that's...
Could be anywhere.
Yeah, it could be anywhere.
Well, what do you say? Hey, what do you say?
Yep. I think we're probably good to go.
Yeah.
Sydney, you got anything to plug or where people can follow you, that sort of deal?
The only thing that I feel like of importance to plug would be to, if you aren't an organ donor, I highly suggest that you sign up to be one. You can do it when you renew your license. I think you can go to donatelife.com and do it, because donating any sort of organ, even if, even donating blood, is so important. Currently, I work with kidney transplant patients, so I've kind of seen the importance of, because kidney donation, needing a kidney is one of the more highly, what's the word?
It's like a common thing.
Yeah, it's one of the more common organs to be donated, or organ that needs, to be replaced per se. So yeah, that's my plug.
Are you an organ donor?
No, but let me ask you this, and I know that maybe this is going to sound ridiculous and ignorant, but I feel like people who don't know, myself included, honestly, would want to ask this. If I'm an organ donor, would they just... Does that mean all my organs? Or do they take what they... Well, let's let Sydney answer, because she knows. Or... So basically, I guess, if I'm an organ donor, can my body still be at my funeral?
Yeah, I don't exactly know when in the entire process of after a person's deceased, when they actually remove certain organs, but I would assume that they kind of, it's not necessarily that they pick and choose what organs, but it's more that they see what can be salvaged. So if you have 2 kidneys, they're going to split those 2 kidneys up and give it to 2 different people that you match with, that sort of thing. If your heart is still in really good condition, they're going to find someone who needs a heart that you're a match with and give it to that person.
Okay. And then...
And it's... From my understanding of it, I mean, you can't, if you die in a hospital, they're going to harvest you know what I mean? They're going to take your organs right away, and you'll be sewed back up. They stitch you up just like they would somebody who's alive, right? They'll sew you.
I mean, if you think about it, if you have an open casket wake, you're dressed up anyways. Yeah. I mean, where they're going to take your organs out is probably going to be around your stomach or something. Right. So you're not even going to see it.
But I'm sure, let's be frank, I'm sure they stuff it with things, right?
You're filled with so many different fluids and chemicals.
So you don't have to worry about that. Your body will be okay for an organ.
Okay. Well, I wasn't worried about it, but I was just kind of curious, what the deal is with that. Yeah. I feel like, ignorant folks like myself might be wondering about that kind of question.
And I was just about to say, I think technically somebody could take your eyes.
Oh, yeah.
But then your eyes are closed anyway.
Yeah, exactly. I think it'd be cool for somebody to, you know what I mean? Because that's one to me.
That keeps you alive.
That's just so crazy. Mm-hmm. Imagine being an adult person and seeing something for the first time. I mean...
Oh, I don't think they're curing blindness with it, are they? I don't know how eye transplants...
I mean, I would imagine that it would... Well, I have no idea. I'm not a doctor, so...
Well, I'm not a doctor anymore, but if you can... Yeah, you can do... That happens to folks. They see for the first time, and it's incredible.
Donate your organs.
Yeah, absolutely.
Andrew.
Yeah.
I love you.
I love you, too. I like it when you say that on the show.
Yeah, that's how you.
Doesn't say it in real life, but...
I don't mean it in real life. But when we're on the show, I have to say it makes it sound good.
It's just a facade.
Yeah.
Yeah, we got to do it so the money keeps coming in.
Right.
Yes. thank you so much for coming on.
Yeah,
Thanks for
a lot,
having me.
Sydney.
Yeah, I
Really
hope
appreciate it.
you had as much fun as I'm sure we did. Teespring.com. Andy.
Final plug. There we go.
Yep, do your thing.
All right. Thanks a lot, Sydney. Let's get out of here, guys. Beautiful.
Donate your organs. Give me the camera back. Donate your organs.